Coming up on Naperville News 17, COVID-19 precautions abound throughout the area. The question of recreational cannabis sales still up for debate, and an educational and adorable trip through history. Hello everyone, I'm Kim Pierce. Thanks for joining us for this week's Naperville News. The World Health Organization has declared COVID-19 a pandemic. The effects of that are ever present and ever changing. For the most current local information, continue to monitor our website and social media. Some of the first precautionary actions taken in Naperville were the cancellation of the St. Patrick's Day Parade and 5K. Naperville News 17's Ryan Scrid fills us in.
In response to coronavirus concerns, the city made the decision to cancel the St. Paddy's Day 5K and West Suburban Irish's St. Patrick's Day Parade for this year.
We decided out of an abundance of caution, and we don't want to put people at unnecessary risk, that we decided to cancel those events.
Since the parade's start in 1993, it's only been canceled on one other occasion in 1995. But West Suburban Irish was certainly not caught off guard by the news, saying the safety of parade participants and spectators is their number one concern.
We certainly understand the city's decision, and we support it, and we want to work with them going forward. That's what makes where we live such a great place.
Another canceled event, the State of the City, which was rescheduled from its March 16th date to May 18th. Medical professionals say these steps were the right call.
You know, I think it's done out of an abundance of caution. It seems to make sense at this point to try to avoid large gatherings, try to slow and hopefully stop the spread, give us more time to prepare as we work towards a vaccine and other things.
Though event cancellations like these may make some residents anxious, there is no reason to panic. Instead, take precautions.
Practice common sense things, Protect yourself when you cough. Don't cough into your arm. Hand washing is still the key and has been. Regular hand washing. Most of the transmission is going to happen when the virus gets on a surface. You touch the surface, you touch your mouth. So that's preventable.
And to determine further precautions, the city continues to monitor the situation.
We're meeting 3 times a week on this, and so we're going to continue to meet and to talk about things as they happen. We're not going to make decisions on something, that might be 2 weeks out. We're going to take it one step at a time. We're making the best choices in the moment so that we're not overreacting to a situation or making decisions, rashly.
To be careful and cautious is appropriate. To be panicky and afraid probably is not. It's something that can be managed. We just have to put some measures in place to manage it.
For Naperville News 17, I'm Ryan Scrid.
North Central College has suspended in-person undergraduate classes and is moving instruction online. The college canceled classes for March 16th and 17th to prepare for the transition to online classes on Wednesday, March 18th. Remote instruction will continue through the remainder of the spring semester. A limited amount of in-person graduate study may still occur. Students will be notified in those instances. The campus will remain open during this time, but social distancing is encouraged when possible. Those students who wish to move out of the residence hall were allowed to do so as of March 14th. Also, as of Monday, March 16th, non-essential on-campus gatherings of more than 100 people are restricted through at least April 10th. You can find the full information about North Central College's plans on their website. Other nearby colleges are taking similar steps. Benedictine University will be implementing virtual classes for all students starting March 23rd, just after their spring break. Students who can leave campus are being asked to do so. Those who wish to stay must submit a form for review, and then if allowed to stay, should adhere to social distancing guidelines. In-person classes are expected to resume April 6th. College of DuPage begins online classes March 16th. During that week, they will also conduct training for faculty and staff in alternative delivery formats. Laboratory sessions will be held as scheduled. Spring break will be March 30th through April 5th. Then upon return to school from April 6th through the 19th, online instruction will continue and no laboratory sessions will be held. Both COD and Benedictine also canceled any upcoming on-campus events. COD has that policy in effect for the remainder of spring semester, and Benedictine will start reevaluating potential rescheduling after April 6th. As for sporting events, the NCAA canceled the men's and women's basketball tournaments for Divisions 1, 2, and 3. This includes North Central College's men's team, who had advanced to the Sweet 16 of the Division III tournament. They also canceled all spring sport championships for the 2019-2020 season for all levels. And the IHSA also canceled all remaining state series boys basketball games. Naperville Park District programs scheduled to be held in local schools have also been canceled, as has the Park District's Youth Basketball League. The Park District will continue to update their website with any pertinent closures. After the break, one company steps up to help in cleanup prevention.
What's the matter, boy? What are you trying to tell me? Is something wrong?
We live in a safe community, but not a crime-free community. If you see something, say something.
Naperville Animal Crime Stoppers.
Yes, I'd like to report a case of animal cruelty and neglect.
Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves.
NCTV17.com is the best place for you to stay up to date on your neighborhood happenings. Get your local news and sports all on the go by signing up for our daily news update. Naperville Community Television, keeping you informed.
With many closures across the country due to coronavirus, we spoke with a local disinfectant company to find out the best way of cleaning up an area that's been affected. Our own Christian Kenazal has the story.
Health experts have said it's no longer a matter of if, but when COVID-19 will be in our area. So what happens when the virus does come to the area? Aftermath Services, a local company that specializes in crime, trauma, and biohazard cleanups, say an important thing is cleaning the area properly so the spread can be minimized. The company has worked with around 50 organizations that have been affected by the virus, and phone calls about their services has increased from 50 calls a day to 300 because of the pandemic. The company's CEO, Doug Berto, said he's seen people cleaning COVID-19 areas without proper equipment, which could put others at risk.
What they're doing is they're putting their employees at risk, whoever's doing the cleaning. They're cross-contaminating, taking it home. They're black bagging it, just a regular old garbage bag. So they're putting it into the environment. And, if someone touches that as they're taking the trash out, it just multiplies.
Aftermath says a proper way to disinfect an area with a coronavirus case is to hire professionals, but everyone should continue to actively and often disinfect their home and work.
Clean all the high-touch areas, all the computers, the phones, the mouses, the arm rails of a chair, the tables.
If you want to learn more about the novel coronavirus and cleaning and disinfecting methods, you can visit the Center for Disease Control's website. For Naperville News 17, I'm Christian Canizal.
A soap company is doing their part to help in preventative measures through a generous donation. Naperville News 17's Aisha Ashley Hausa tells us more.
Soapbox Soaps, a company co-founded by Naperville native David Simnick, is donating nearly 2 million bars of soap to homeless shelters and food pantries.
Soapbox decided to donate 1.7 million bars because we understand how severe COVID-19 is, and we wanted to help in giving the less fortunate through a bunch of different homeless shelters and food pantries the first line of defense against the spread of this nasty virus.
The company has partnered with Clean the World, Feeding America, and other organizations to help with their task. Over 14 semi-trucks full of soap have left Clean the World's headquarters in Florida to make their way out to dozens of shelters and food pantries across the U.S. According to Simnick, usually 1 bar of soap helps a family of 4 at a food pantry. He also said soap is always in high demand at these locations, one reason why they decided to make this donation.
SNAP or food stamps provide for hygiene items. So it usually, depending on the state, only covers food and not hygiene necessities. Hence, the reason why food pantries go through their hygiene product so quickly.
The company was founded in the idea of empowering people to change the world through everyday purchases like soap. Usually with every purchase, Soapbox donates to someone in need. But this campaign takes it a step further since no purchase is necessary. Reporting for Naperville News 17, I'm Aisha Ashley Hausa.
Soapbox Soaps was co-founded in 2010 with Simnick's best friend Eric Vong, who's also from Naperville. The issue of adult use cannabis sales in Naperville is coming closer to a resolution. We spoke with advocates of both sides to get their view. Supporters of opting out recently hosted a forum at the Naperville Women's Club, where several city leaders gave their thoughts on why opting out is the right call.
I'm of the opinion, and I think that was echoed by our panelists tonight, that the money relative to the concerns at hand is really immaterial. We're a big city, we're a strong city financially. The revenue stream that we're talking about is not worth the trade-off of the certain social impacts that are going to come with having these stores in our community.
Residents were invited to listen to presentations by Dr. Aaron Weiner of Linden Oaks Behavioral Health and the Naperville Police Department's Chief, Bob Marshall, both of whom encouraged opting out. There was also time for a Q&A with the audience, who had questions about the economic impact and how adult use cannabis sales will affect Naperville's image.
After tonight, I think it would be important to look on how neighboring communities, it affects their government.
City Council will consider the results of the non-binding citywide referendum when they vote on the issue of adult use cannabis sales in Naperville at a future council meeting. Advocates for Naperville's Optin Group recently gave us a tour of the 3C Compassionate Care Center and told us why they think the sale of cannabis should be legalized in the city. The facility has been in Naperville since 2016 and is the only medical cannabis dispensary in the city. Customers of 3C are vetted before they're buzzed in, then led into a room where they can purchase cannabis and paraphernalia. Green Thumb Industries, the parent company of 3C, believes if Naperville decides to opt in, Naperville could see tax revenues as high as $2 million.
Last year, when people were debating numbers, it really was quite hypothetical, and people had to look to other states' revenues. Now we're more than 2 months into adult use sales in Illinois, so we do have those figures to go off of.
Rollman said the additional revenue could be used to fund mental health and substance use programs. Crime rates relating to marijuana could also potentially go down, according to Rollman, if Naperville legalized the sale of pot.
That also should help put illegal drug dealers out of business as more and more people convert to purchasing legally. There's really less and less incentive for illegal drug dealers to look for business in Naperville.
3C officials said if the city does choose to opt in, medical users would still be their #1 priority. Coming up, a friendship that stretches across generations.
Using NCTV 17 is an opportunity to get the word out of what you do and what you create and the passion that you have, and puts the face with the business and then the voice with the business. It gives a relaxed atmosphere of somebody asking you questions about what you do and explaining it in a very succinct manner in a short period of time. The cost of it is minimal, in my opinion, as a small business owner, because you have to use audio and visual content as much as you possibly can to get the word out. And you want a good, solid looking, high definition, perfectly done professional in the studio. This is the place to be. It'll pay for itself 100-fold because it tells you, the customer, exactly what you want them to know. And then they can say, oh, I like that, and go, click, I'm going over there and I'm doing business with you. So I'd recommend coming here immediately.
Recently, several organizations teamed up to host a resource fair for those with disabilities. Naperville's Accessible Community Task Force and both School District 203 and 204 teamed up to host the event, which about 100 community members attended. They learned about transitional programs, recreational activities, and community resources. Some even got a chance to learn a few nifty tricks from man's best friend.
This is almost like, I think, equivalent to like sort of a career or college planning fair for other students, but we're providing some information to our families that's really valuable, that'll help them plan for that next step for life after high school or after their school district careers.
The fair also allows for current students and alumni of the district to show off their creative skills and businesses like Ultra Prime Comics. An important part for Ben Barcina, as it allows him to express what he loves to others.
I just like to spread my imagination, because in my comic, anything is possible.
If you'd like to know more about local disability resources, you can check out Naperville's Accessible Community Task Force's website. Wednesday, April 22nd is Earth Day. And in honor of that, some local students are joining an initiative to be more environmentally conscious. The Neuqua Valley Environmental Club, NV Eco, is participating in Naperville's Bring Your Own Bag event on April 18th. It focuses on eliminating single-use plastic items like grocery bags, which are harmful to the environment. As a lead up to the event, the club welcomes staff and students to convert their old and unused t-shirts into reusable grocery bags for the community.
So those plastic bags, if you put it into the recycling bin, they actually cause the recycling machines in the plant to malfunction, and workers have to spend a lot of time to take those bags out of the machines, and it also causes just efficiency problems in the long term. Also, when you throw it into the landfill, the plastic has a very long lifetime. It doesn't degrade very easily.
Making your own bags is a great way to reduce your impact, not only because you're reusing a t-shirt that's already been in circulation, and the number of plastic bags that you have saved and reduced in the environment just amounts to like hundreds in a year, thousands over a lifetime. And so when you reduce that and reduce using plastic, you reduce your impact on the environment.
To make a t-shirt into your own reusable bag, all you have to do is cut off the sleeves, the neckline, snip some frills at the bottom, then tie them tightly into double knots. Ta-da! An eco-friendly errand bag. And you can catch NV Eco at the Bring Your Own Bag event at Casey's Foods and at the Free Speech Pavilion on April 18th. The Naperville Police Department is highlighting their volunteer programs for this month's A Safer Naper. One of those volunteer opportunities is the civilian tour guides who work with scout troops and other community organizations.
It's great working with the kids, and I love the questions, feeding off their responses or stories or questions. They're very inquisitive and very, very curious and interested in the Naperville Police Department.
The NPD also has the Community Radio Watch and Naperville Police Explorers programs. Community Radio Watch members help officers with patrols and crowd control at large events in the city. For the younger volunteers interested in a career in law enforcement, the Naperville Police Explorers get hands-on experience in the daily tasks of police officers. No matter which program sparks people's interest, the NPD values the help of the community.
It's important to have this community relationship with members and residents of Naperville because we can't do it alone. We rely on our volunteers to make Naperville a better, safer place, and we really value that important relationship that we have with members.
If you're interested in volunteering, you can call the NPD's non-emergency number or visit their website. The Naperville Police Department has a total of 7 volunteer programs. Many of us have people we call lifelong friends, but that term applies to these two moms quite literally. Our own Casey Krajewski sat down with them to see how their story has come all the way full circle.
Allie Pape and Jenna Finney have known each other for 30 years. They first met as babies in a Gymboree class and have been close ever since. Now, their story has come full circle. The friends each have a baby in the same Cradle Talk class. Josie Pape is just 3 months older than Aiden Finney, but they're already becoming fast friends.
It's beautiful. They're actually the same distance apart in months that we are, so yeah. It's
kind of crazy.
Cradle Talk is a weekly support group where moms have a chance to chat and learn more about the challenges of being a new mom, while babies get important social time with each other.
My pediatrician recommended Cradle Talk, and so I went before Aiden was born, and then quickly called Jenna afterwards and highly recommended it.
And though Josie and Aiden are just about graduated from Cradle Talk, it sounds like they'll still be seeing quite a bit of each other.
We both live here and neither one of us have plans to move, so it's
Nope.
like we know our kids are going to grow up together, and it's just obviously they're going to
probably be more like cousins.
Yeah.
For Naperville News 17, I'm Casey Krajewski.
And of course, Edward Elmhurst Health offers classes for moms to learn more about every step of pregnancy and new babies. Up next, on the road to the Olympic Marathon Time Trials.
Enjoy the Naperville Municipal Band's summer concert series? Well, now you can follow the band's more than 150-year history in the truly noteworthy documentary The Band Plays On, now available as a podcast.
We tell everybody's stories big and small. Everybody's story matters to us, and it comes in a variety of shapes and sizes, and that's what makes it so special. We don't always need a big story. Sometimes we want a story that makes us laugh. Sometimes we want a story that we relate to. Sometimes we want to cry with that story. But more importantly, we want to hear the stories about our people in the community.
My mom kept saying, I'm just so proud that you never gave up. And, after 11 years, it crossed my mind a few times.
It took a decade, but Marissa Hurd finally made it.
It kind of just became habit. Like, oh yeah, I'm training for the trials. Oh yeah, hit this time. And I finally did it, and it was an incredible feeling. It's been an incredible journey.
The road to the U.S. Olympic Marathon Time Trials is a unique one for every participant. For Hurd, a decade of just missing out included the Naperville Marathon, that ended when she qualified in November at the Indy Monumental Marathon, 13 months after having her son Jack.
Being a new mom and kind of figuring out a new body and literally a new person, that was all a huge, huge adjustment. There were days where I either wasn't going to go for a run or I'm going to push him in the stroller. So I ran probably 5 days a week with the stroller.
For Ryan Root, the journey also has an early detour in Naperville. An All-American runner at North Central College, naturally credit is given to legendary longtime coach Al Carius.
The 5 years I spent at North Central really set me up to be a marathoner just by kind of going through that whole high mileage process that Al's got going.
His path to Atlanta, Georgia wasn't taken alone though, rather with longtime teammate and friend Travis Morrison.
We've been really close to hitting the trial standard before, and this would be the first time we were going to race together since literally the first race out of college. So it'd been 3-4 years since we raced together, so we were pretty excited just to link up, and we didn't really know how the race would go.
Once on the start line, more than 800 runners from around the country saw their voyage converge. A special moment for Mattia Valley teacher and coach Alyssa Schneider.
I love Des Linden, and I got to start right behind her. So just standing on the starting line, and she was 1 foot in front of me. It was really cool.
The race was challenging. High winds and a hilly course proved difficult, but Alyssa, Ryan, and Marissa all battled through, finishing the tough race.
Personally, I developed some really bad heel blisters really early on. So I was kind of negotiating between the pain burning from my heels and the pain of a marathon. I had put so much work into that training, and so I was just like, I am finishing this. I was like, it's gonna hurt, but I am finishing this.
Because I had to try to just not walk the last 3 miles. He ended up catching me with 400 to go, and we just high-fived and we're like, let's just finish together. And so I was super grateful that he was able to rally back, because just having him there and being able to share that last stretch together was phenomenal.
If you saw my training on paper, you'd be like, no way am I going to run this time to qualify. But my mind was stronger than it ever had been, and I believed in myself. I believed in the training that I was doing, and everybody always says that there's mom strength, and there is in so many ways. So that's kind of what got me through.
Hurd finished with a time of 2 hours and 50 seconds. Schneider ended up 74th out of 390 competitors, and Root crossed side by side with Morrison in 93rd and in 94th places. All taking the same road for 26.2 miles, despite taking such different journeys to the start line. Reporting for Naperville News 17, I'm Kevin Jackman.
And if you have an idea for a sports story feature, you can let us know at newstips@nctv17.com. One local church has a unique way to keep the African American culture alive through their younger members. Naperville News 17's Aisha Ashley Hausa shows us how.
Far across the river, do you hear freedom calling?
The younger members of the congregation St. John African Methodist Episcopal Church use their creative expression at their Dreamers Wax Museum.
We give them the opportunity to embody an icon in African American history and culture, a person who has achieved, who has made significant achievements in their life and in the work that they've done.
For about 3 months, the kids and their families research an icon and make a board to represent them to gear up for their presentations.
Hi, my name is Ruby. I was the first African American child to attend a white school. My walk to school that day changed the world.
The Dreamers Wax Museum has been put on by the church for 16 years. Some of their older participants have portrayed an icon since they were kids and learned something new each year.
She wasn't just the slave runner who helped slaves escape. She also led soldiers during the Civil War, which was one of the really interesting facts we found out.
It's interesting to learn about new people and hear their backstories and where they come from and why they did what they did.
I think it's so much fun because I feel like we are representing them through a nice light, and I feel like we would make them proud if they were here and we gave them the speech today.
The future of activism is you! Reporting for Naperville News 17, I'm Aisha Ashley Hausa.
And that's what's happening right here in your neighborhood, Naperville. We'll see you next week. Until then, you can catch up on local news by signing up for our NCTV 17 News Update, delivered right to your inbox Monday through Friday. Sign-up information is right on our website, nctv17.com.
This week's Naperville News 17 is brought to you in part by the following sponsors. This program is partially funded by a grant from the City of Naperville.